Thank you, Professor Alam. It's a great presentation. Please come along. Arko, do you like to come along? And the next speaker, Professor Tamer Gatwarey, my friend, he's going to present from Chester the experience of rupture aortic aneurysm.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Nasser Saeed and Mr. Ali for giving me the honor to be home and to meet with my peer colleague and professors in Egypt, and always a privilege for me to participate in the Egyptian Vascular Club and the Egyptian Vascular Society. And congratulations for your event. Friday morning, everyone asleep, and I'm presenting our experience in the Counts of Chester Hospital. It's South Mercy Arterial Unit, and it's almost a decade since the establishment of this vascular unit in the northwest region of the UK. If you don't know, the UK has recognized vascular as a specialty of its own in 2013, and 2 years before that, there was a lot of research about the volume and the outcome of cases, which led to the centralization of the practice in the UK, which means the more you do from aortic cases, the more you do have a better outcome, or the better the outcome. So the South Mercy Arterial Unit in Chester is the centralization of the northwest region, and Mercy is a name of the liver. In there, Liverpool is the north of the Mersey, and we are at the south of it. We cover Wirral, Chester, and Warrington, and then Manchester is a different center. So over the last 9 years, we started in April 2014, we have performed 814 aortic operation between elective and non-elective, infrarenal, juxtarenal. The majority of the cases you could see as a standard EVAR, and few number as well of complex with open. We don't operate on thoracic aneurysm or thoracoabdominal or fenestrated or branched EVAR, because those cases will be referred to Liverpool, which is a tertiary unit in nearby. And it's again due to the centralization idea. When you focus all these complex cases in one unit, the outcome would be better. In this talk, I was focusing only on the non-elective aorta, but just for the complex EVAR here, we mean in our unit, we do some complex chimney EVAR or IBE device. So looking at how do we do our elective cases, so nearly 85% of our cases are treated endovascularly, and when it's juxtarenal, so you could see it's 50-50. For the total urgent repair, and we've done 162 cases over the last 9 years. And urgent repair means any aorta that require urgent fixation, either urgent aortic aneurysm, rupture, or symptomatic cases, or type 1A endoleak. So again, we could see in our non-elective infrarenal, we do a little bit more as an endovascular repair. However, the juxtarenal, obviously, 3/4, 75% treated with open repair. In total, when we look at the number of the urgent or rupture aortic aneurysm cases presented to our unit over the last 9 years and divided it into 3 periods, the first 3 years, middle, and the current one. So the top line here represents all rupture and symptomatic. And as you can see, there is a declining curve, which tells the number of the cases are reducing, and the same for the rupture. And that's also noted nationally in the UK. When I looked at the modality of repair, you could see that when we started, majority of our cases were treated by open repair, and currently 3/4 of our cases are treated endovascularly, and that's for both urgent and rupture aneurysm. Then when we focused on the rupture aneurysm cases, again, initially we started with more open, and currently it's the reverse. So I looked at our overall crude mortality in the unit over the last 9 years, and it's, again, this red line represents the overall crude mortality for the whole unit. Blue graph for the endovascular repair, open for the, orange for the open repair, and as you can see, the arrow in total is going down, and this is because the endovascular that we do more, that reduce the mortality in our unit. And the previous one was for both urgent and rupture. This is for absolute rupture. Still, the line is declining as well. Then I wanted to compare as well the performance of our unit nationally. And this funnel plot is taken from the UK National Vascular Registry. And each black circle here represents one of the arterial unit in the UK. So Chester is this red circle there, and this is the overall SMART performance over 9 years. The orange line here is the national average. So we are based on the national average with a mortality rate of around 25% for treating symptomatic and urgent aortic aneurysm. Then I divided that into the 3 periods again to see how we were doing over the 3 years. So initially we were just above average by 34%, which means that when you are above this orange line, so your performance is not good. When you are at it, so your performance is average, or below it, so you are doing better. So initially, the first 3 years we were high, then on the line, then we are currently 15%, one of the few centers, which that's a mortality over the last 3 years. So I just wanted to share quickly this case of an 89-year-old gentleman who presented to my on-call on Sunday, 19 June. I do remember the date for a special occasion. He was living independent with reasonable quality of life, presented with rupture aneurysm, and you could see he had a CT scan, and the CT here, if you follow, big hematoma, and then you will soon see the extravasation of the contrast going to the retroperitoneal space here, it is. So a decision was we could proceed. How do we do this endovascularly? So we do, or personally I prefer to do AUI and FEM crossover under local anesthesia completely. So after measuring the CT, we decided to put the Medtronic stent, which is available on shelf in the unit. And as we can see the steps, deployed the top end. The time here point out that we started around 6 o'clock, and the complete exclusion of the aorta will occur within 30 minutes. So you control the massive bleed, the massive loss of blood within 30 minutes. That's good for the patient and good for their outcome. Completion angio showed complete exclusion with no type 1 endoleak. And the patient came to have a post-EVAR surveillance. Am I allowed? Thank you.
We have a plenty of time.
Thank you.
Just 2.
I need 1 minute. Thank you. So the CT scan here, which is a post-graft surveillance, showed that the stent is in place, the aneurysm is completely excluded, and the FEM crossover is running. I don't know if you had a chance to see this or not. So here the stent, the sac doesn't have any contrast in it, occluder device on the left side, and the crossover will be, okay, so it's gone. So points for discussion. So why the numbers are declining? We have successful screening program in our unit that serves the community. So the center, to be arterial center, you have to cover an area of a 1 million population. And we have trained specialist nurse and vascular coordinator who will maintain this program of screening. So once we identify patients with a small aneurysm, then each size, depend on the, each patient will depend on the size of his aorta or her aorta will be scheduled for either 6 monthly or a yearly scan. Once they come and ready for 5.5, the coordinator arrange for us to assess those patients in our clinic. Obviously, the centralization of the arterial walk in the UK makes the higher volume in the unit help the performance and outcome, and also availability of on-shelf varieties of aortic stent for these emergency cases that only possible when you have a centralized unit. We looked at also the RAAA management to distribute the experience between skilled consultants. So there are consultants for open, consultants for endovascular. We make them to operate together. We always audit our data and we review through the national. This, I just wanted to finish this with
another minute.
Thank you letter from this patient who survived. Thank you.
You cannot blame me, yeah?
No, I can't. So, this, maybe I jumped this point, but auditing the results and the National Vascular Registry in the UK, it is our, this is the marker that we check our performance to, which I would encourage each unit and hope we have as well Egyptian Vascular Registry for special cases that will help each unit to compare their result with the performance. So as I said, this was the thank you card from this patient after he left. Initially, he was saying, everyone told me,
thank you very much,
you should
Tamer.
be a dead, but...
And you can come here, because we